Hi, this is Tashina.
And this is Jonathan.
And this is The Abandoned Ship, a podcast where we take you through Deep Space Nine.
And today we have Season 2, Episode 13, Armageddon Game.
The coffee episode.
The coffee episode. The Bashir and O'Brien learn to get along, I guess, episode.
I guess.
This is the start, the beginning. Again, they have like 3 beginnings of their like relationship.
I know.
They have the proto one in Season 1 with the storyteller.
Yes.
They have this one, and
They have pickleball.
yeah, it's sort of sprinkled throughout.
Yeah.
But there's definitely been a transition away from, like, they actively annoy each other. Mostly Bashir annoys O'Brien.
Yes.
To building a friendship.
So funny that they're trying to make this happen. This dynamic.
Well, I think they weren't.
Okay.
I'm trying to remember if it was... I'm getting all my trivia mixed up, but I can't remember if it was the storyteller or this episode where they're like, oh, we should keep this going.
Okay.
I think what they originally were doing intentionally was Bashir annoys O'Brien.
Yes.
And then they decided to evolve that into more of a friendship where they just sort of rib on each other, but not like, it's a little more...
They actually like each
sincere,
other.
yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah.
All right. So we start off on... What's the planet's name?
They don't say they don't say the planet, but it's the
I thought they said we're on
Kellerans.
I thought they said they were on like Talania.
No, they're on board a Talani cruiser.
Okay. Never mind.
Talani 3, I think, is the name of the planet. But
anywho, there's pretty much 2 different factions of people that are in a civil war.
And they're like, how could we make sure the audience understands that they're different? Let's give them ridiculous hairstyles.
Their own unique, ridiculous
hairstyles.
And one group's in brown, one group's in gray. So it's just going to be the brown group and the gray group, because that's the only way you can keep it straight.
It's a twist on the 2 sides that never get along.
Yeah.
Plot in that they've now found a way to get along. So go ahead.
So Bashir and Miles are on this planet to help this group destroy what's called the Harvesters, which is pretty much a bioweapon. And it was the main bioweapon used in the Civil War. So the way that these 2 groups have come together is pretty much they said they will stop the war if they can get rid of all these bioweapons. And I guess they boop, 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 boop. The Federation called them up and said, hey, can you help us? Not sure how Bashir and Miles got on this mission, but we're in the middle of it. And pretty much we are at the point where they've been working on it for about a week. And one guy's like, well, it took 10 years to perfect this bioweapon. So, it might take a while to figure out how to destroy it.
Of course, Bashir is impatient.
Bashir and Miles is just, bleh. Which we have to note, Miles is drinking coffee in this first scene. But because you don't know what that's about, you don't really, it doesn't register in your mind.
Right.
When you first watch it. But knowing the ending, it's like, oh my goodness, he is drinking coffee.
Yep. Put a pin in that.
Yep. Yep. So, lo and behold, beep, boop, beep, boop, boop, boop. They do something, found a way to destroy the Harvesters. Celebrate good times, come on. So it's party time. And then the ambassador for the gray team comes in, and he's just like, wonderful, we did it. Now we have to make sure this is never done again. And this is where Miles comes in and goes, I purged the whole system of pretty much directions to make this bioweapon again. So they're trying to eradicate even someone stumbling upon trying to make this again.
Controlling the information.
Yes. And that seems to be the ambassador to the gray groups, he's really adamant, like, this doesn't happen again, and they're like, yeah, no, we're with you. Cool.
The gray ones are...
You think I'm going to remember?
We'll find out
I think Talani are the brown ones.
Okay.
The brown outfits. Not the brown ones, the brown outfits.
Yes.
And the gray Great. Brown team, gray team. We'll do that. And then the brown team has a lady that seems to be in charge. I'm not sure
Yeah,
her
there's like 2
position.
ambassadors, one from each side.
So, yes, 2 people kind of heading up this mission. We get our credits. Anything before we move on from the code word?
Well, they had that, so they figured out a way to destroy it, and now they're like, now we got to actually perform the operation to destroy it. And they do this like really dramatic, like, we have to make sure the entire stockpile is destroyed, and do this slow pan with like some foreboding music across
cans of this bioweapon.
Yeah, and you can tell that if they had the budget, this would have been a like warehouse.
Yes.
Full to the ceiling, Harry Potter and the chamber of the Department of Mysteries, like floor to ceiling stacks of bioweapons.
That was definitely the vision.
What they had the budget for was 3 bookshelves, so it doesn't quite have the effect.
I get what they were going for,
considering it took about 3 seconds to destroy the other one, so they'll be done in like 30 minutes.
Yeah, it won't take too long. That's why the party's the next night. Yeah. They know it's not going to take that long.
Yeah. So then this is like, oh, okay, yeah, we got to destroy more stuff. Cool.
So after our intro credits, we're in Cisco's office.
Oh, not only that, the device where they put them all in stores like 10 at a time.
Oh, really?
It's like 5 to 10 at a time. So it's like, yeah, we'll be done in 10 minutes, and you can stick around.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving on.
Okay, so Cisco's office, he gets a call from Bashir and Miles, a little video call. Pretty much, they called to tell him about the news, and Cisco's like, oh, both the other teams already told me that you did it. And Bashir's like, oh, okay. I don't know. I feel like Bashir was sad he couldn't tell Cisco himself.
Oh, I wanted to tell Dad.
So Cisco's like, you coming back? And this is when Bashir mentions, oh, they're gonna throw a party tomorrow on the Prime planet, and we're gonna think about we're gonna stay.
Oh, it is Talani Prime.
Talani, yes.
Talani Prime.
Okay, I actually caught something. Talani Prime, they're gonna have a party. Bashir's down. I was like,
you can tell he wants to get home.
He wants to get home.
He has a family, which is the point of the episode. That he's been away for a week.
Also, I guess they only have one runabout, so I guess if Bashir wants to stay, he has to stay. So Cisco encourages Miles, like, we could do without you for one day. And I'm here going, do you want to ask Keiko if she can go one more day?
Yes, sir.
So Miles is like, okay, we'll stay for the party.
But this is good. Like, it's great that this conversation isn't just delivering exposition. You know, it is setting up their differing views. Bashir wants to party. Brian wants to go home with his family.
I feel Miles, after a week of being away from his family, like, can I just go home, be in my bed? You know, that's the main thing.
Yeah,
can I go to my own heart bed on my station? So we go back to our science lab on Talani, and they just did it. They're destroying the last cylinder of the harvesters, and then as soon as it's done, bam, 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 the gray team comes in and starts like killing everyone.
It's pretty, if it wasn't for the sci-fi nature of it, this is pretty awful.
Yes.
Like, they're shooting these unarmed people, like, point blank, chasing them into corn. Like, it had, like, you know, a shooting vibe. And it was just like, it's easy because it's 90s cheesy television that it doesn't hit you as hard. But when you think about it, it's like, oh, wow, this is...
Like, they're mowing down the whole science team.
And you can tell also their set wasn't as big as they wanted it to be either, because Bashir's like hiding behind the panel, and I can in short films that I've done in my past, I totally feel for him, because you're like, oh, he's supposed to be hiding here, and they can't see him. It's like you could tell that if you just zoom out a little bit, the gunman is standing like right next to him. You there's nowhere to hide. The room's it's a closet. It's too small.
Just peripheral vision.
Yeah, exactly. Peripheral vision doesn't exist in movies.
So yeah, you know, like our daughter. She doesn't have that, so maybe they're like that. So in this tragic shooting, Bashir and Miles break out their Federation fighting
Mostly
moves.
O'Brien, because he
Mostly
is like
because he has
the one
done
with
combat. Yes,
experience.
so he's
Yeah,
done combat. Bashir
but oh yeah, he holds
holds
his
his
own.
own.
But you can tell something really like activates in O'Brien, and
Yes, he goes into go mode.
fight.
Something. So the main thing that held the canisters breaks in the process of them, and you get a slight moment where you see a little drop of something
Drippy drop.
drop on Miles. Put a pin in that.
That's not good.
It is that good. So Bashir and Miles, they block communications. So they hightail it out of there because they're like, we don't know what's going on and we don't want to wait around for them to come and try to kill us again. Bye. So they peace on out.
And their runabout is like just floating in space next to them, basically.
Yes.
So they tried to get it to beam them over, but it wouldn't because they were jammed.
Yeah, that's why they were trying to communicate with the runabout. That's right.
Thankfully, despite having this whole plan in advance of killing all these people once their job was done, they let them do this laboratory work in a room that had a transporter. So they had an easy way to escape because they just beam out.
We're at Quark's where Cisco is ordering a big old lunch.
Big old brunch.
I mean, kept on going.
Chowder, crepes, and a slice of something we never find out.
I don't know. Kind of bums me out. He never got to this brunch. Kira calls in and goes, we have the ambassadors from both Gray and Brown team here. They need to talk to you. And he goes, well, we're Bashir Miles. They're not here. Cisco's like, okay, I'll be right there. Cancel my brunch.
Cancel breakfast.
Go to his office, where both of the ambassadors tell him pretty much what happened and that it was an accident. So they pretty much, there's this whole cover up where they say, because of course Cisco's like, what happened? The lady ambassador's like, well, what happened is I guess there was some deep security thing that was implanted into their system that Miles triggered, and that's what killed everybody.
Yep.
That's their story.
Oh, another detail I don't know if we were clear about.
Mm-hmm.
The gunman who came in, the science team was mixed race.
Oh, yeah, I said the gunmen were Gray team.
Yeah.
Yes.
So from O'Brien and Miles' perspective, it looks like Gray team,
they broke
Talani,
the peace treaty, and
peace.
they're so we're not sure at this time what's going on with Brown team. We just know Gray team definitely
is involved.
And so she gives them it shows how old I am because I wrote down like video evidence, tape evidence.
Right.
Like it's all 90s stuff. Like it's
show me the tape.
Show me the tape. But she has the security video of what happened. She gives it to them. And then, especially knowing the ending, this really got to me. We don't hold it against Miles. It was an accident. I'm like, bitch. Even if that was the case, like suppose this is something in your system. And even Kira said, how did you not know about this?
Right.
How did you not? So the fact that they're even trying to blame an accident on Miles, I'm like, that should have been trigger number one of something that fishy.
Yeah, they were trying to make it not immediately look like, oh, it's our incompetence, because that would have caused an investigation.
Yes.
So they wanted to make them feel bad because, oh yeah, O'Brien got our people killed too.
Yeah.
But then also absolve them responsibility so that they don't have to look too into it. Like,
but they were
we're
there
gonna
to help
show
us.
you mercy.
Yeah, we're gonna because since they helped us with destroying the bioweapons, so they're still heroes in our book.
They're trying to gaslight here.
And it's like, bitch. Yeah, they can fuck off. Back on Talani.
Talani Prime.
I don't know where they are. I guess it looks like Bashir and Miles have wandered into a neighborhood that must have been a part of the war because it is all destroyed and abandoned.
Yeah, they said when they were destroying them that the planet's population was decimated.
Oof.
So it's like after the snap, like lots just deserted.
Yes,
areas.
That's definitely what it felt like.
But yeah, they find a little building that, thankfully for them, has every single supply they could possibly hope for.
Yeah.
So that they don't have to worry about any of that for the rest of the episode, and they could just focus on the character
Yeah.
stuff. Oh, look at it. Food, water, a
A
communication
whole
system that we
bucket
have to repair. But
Yeah, so pretty much the main thing is that they do find a communication system, but it's busted. So Miles has to go and work on it. And of course, Bashir, the little puppy he is like, I can help. I took engineering at Starfleet. I can help you. And Miles is like, you want to help? Sit down, shut up.
leave me alone.
Leave me alone.
So apparently, when they were making this episode, they had intended for their escape in the planet to be
Yes.
much more extravagant, like
Oh,
more
really?
sets, like moving around, evading, like really being like on the run. They didn't have the budget for that, so like, okay, forget it. We'll just put them in one house.
All our money went to those canisters.
Yeah. I think the episode, from a character perspective, is obviously better for it
Yes.
because then you get to really dig into their relationship. But it's always interesting when that stuff happens and they can't do what they want to do, so they have to improvise.
We head back to Cisco's office where the crew is now watching the video. So it's interesting. You could see how they like edited it because they get to a point where they're like destroyed the last canister. And then you get a part of what Miles said the day before. Like he says something that he said exactly to them in the cold opening. And then they must have done some AI. Like this is the best AI deep fake we've ever seen where
Right.
Miles goes, "Oh, what's this?" Pshoo! And then it's almost like they just disappear.
Yeah, they get flooded with like all this radiation that's in
Okay.
such intense quantities that it just like vaporizes them.
Also, very easy. To
Very
edit.
cheap, effect-wise, yes.
Yes.
Flash, they're gone.
They're gone. I'm like, but also on a perspective of them trying to cover up something very easy because then,
Right. No
they're
evidence.
gone.
Yeah.
There's no bodies, nothing.
Very convenient.
Very convenient. And at this point, Kira is upset and she's like, I want to talk to Talani's security. I want to know why
Why'd they let them do this research on a station that was rigged to kill them?
Yeah. And even Odo's like, yeah, I want to talk to him too. And Cisco's like, hold up. They lost people too. We can't just go, busting doors in there.
Right.
Right now we need to notify the Federation. Kira, can you find someone on Bejor to help with medical while we, get someone in from the Federation? And Dax is like, do you want me to go with you to see Keiko? Cisco's like, no, I'll do it. So pretty much you could see how sad Cisco is, but he definitely goes into business mode. Like, there's things we got to do. There's things we got to accomplish. And it does seem like they did have the intent maybe later on to talk to security about it. Maybe like after the memorial, stuff like that. Definitely like push shit off a bit. I think what happens just pushes it forward to immediate.
Exactly.
Yeah. So it's just it's actually a really heartbreaking scene. Like, I think Cisco does a great job of conveying his set. He's not like
this the
weeping
Starfleet
or
captain
crying.
archetype at its best,
Yes.
Down to business, getting it done, controlling, dealing with these emotions,
stoic, but
keeping his people
sadness.
focused. Yeah.
There is a deep sadness there that you sense.
Yeah, it's not ignoring it or brushing it off, but it's powering through, doing what needs to be done.
Yeah. And they all got jobs to do. Go back to Talania. So Miles is working on the comms. And of course, Bashir can't be bored, so he starts chatting away. And he's just like, damn, I'm so sad I couldn't go to that party on Talania Prime. Talania women are so fly. They're so fly.
That was kind of like,
I could have got
are
me some major babes.
Well, not all. He's like, Talani women are quite attractive, and O'Brien basically agrees, saying, "I'm not blind."
I'm not
It's
blind.
like, I don't know if I really got that from who they decided to cast, who we saw.
I feel like we
the
should have had. I
hair.
feel like we should have gotten at least one hot assistant in there,
Right?
That
Yeah, to
Bashir
make
was
it-
just like making eyes at, yeah.
Something to make this not like come out of
Like,
nowhere.
wait, what? Really? Okay.
Maybe he just likes freaky hairdos.
Maybe that's his thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, he's just very, very sad he couldn't bone the Talani. Love it. Um, but this is where we kinda get deep into the difference of perspective, of Bashir and Miles, especially when it comes to love and family. Because Miles like, "Ugh, is that all you think about?
Women.
6."
You perv.
And Bashir was like, I was in love once, but I didn't marry because it's not fair, especially to them." And Miles, you can start, he's starting to get a little perturbed.
What do you
What do you
mean?
mean? It's not fair to them. Um, yeah, you could tell he's starting to get a little irked. He's like, well, like, and honestly, I get this argument too. I totally
Oh
see
yeah, sure.
Bashir's side of like
Yeah,
with
basically
their
it's
job, um, it's difficult to have, especially a family, just because you're doing like these jobs where you are putting yourself in danger, you're away for long periods of time. Like you have to be really secure in your relationship. Um, and it can be scary. And it's like, and I can see from his perspective, I think he probably really did love this woman because he's like, I didn't want to hurt her.
yeah.
And so Miles is like, what do you mean? Like it's fine, it's worth it. It's worth getting married. It's worth having kids. Like just because these things happen. And then Bashir brings up, but know how Keiko feels. And at first he's
Everybody knows your marriage is in trouble. And then Miles like, what? Excuse
because
me?
yeah, because at first he trails off and Miles like, say it. Say what you're gonna say. Well, we know that, Keiko's been upset about being on the station and it's not going well. And then Miles like, shut your mouth. I'm just like, damn. Miles gets activated.
Basically, what this all boils down to is because of Bashir's lack of experience, he approached this purely from almost like a logic perspective. Like, oh yeah, it doesn't make sense for me to have family because how could I put them through all this stress of me being in danger?
Yep.
Because he doesn't understand love
Yes.
and how powerful it is and how it's a two-way street.
Mm-hmm.
You're not forcing someone
Yes.
to be in love with you, as long as you both have an understanding. That's what it comes down around to with Miles, and you see it in Keiko's reaction later. Like there's this understanding, like she knew what she was getting into, but they love each other, and that's what Bashir doesn't understand.
Yes. Because, yeah, like I said, I do think he was in love with our ballerina, but he's still young and selfish.
Exactly.
Yeah. So he's definitely, I think he is trying to be empathetic to the other side, but he still doesn't understand. Yes, they're making a choice too. They could choose whether this is the life for them or not. And yes, Keiko complains and she's like, oh, can we get off the stage? She definitely has her moments, but she's still there. She got through it. She found her place on the station and she seems to be doing okay, and because she knows this is what's good also for Miles's career. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's can be difficult sometimes, but Keiko and Miles really love each other.
Yep.
So, sadly, it looks like Miles is not just sweating because Bashir's pissing him off.
Yeah, he's not looking too hot.
And Bashir comes over. He's like, what do you mean you're... Oh, because he's like, I'm cold. He wraps something around me. He's like, cold? It's hot in here. And he's like, you're like sweaty. You look bad. He's like, let me see your arm. And the dot, where that dot had hit him before, it's like nasty now.
Yeah, it's
It
like
is.
spread out everywhere. And
So he has been infected by the harvesters.
dun, dun, dun.
Yeah. And then more sadness.
Oh yeah, this scene was tough.
Cisco goes to the O'Brien's quarters and Keiko is there taking care of her bonsai tree. And
It's just so effectively done because Cisco comes in and it's a lot of these like close-ups on their face.
Yeah.
And you can tell and she can tell just from his face that like something's wrong.
Something happened. Yeah.
Like this is the call that she's been dreading.
Yes. Yes. Like, as Miles' wife, you have to know that the captain could come in at any moment, the leader, and tell you your husband's dead. So yeah, he tells her there's been an accident. And it's interesting too, because she also doesn't like, I mean, like, she's not like crying or sobbing. It's like
Just taking it in.
shock. It's just deep shock and trying to process. And Cisco mentions like they have the security tape of what happened. She's like, I would like to see that. And he's like, okay, I'll send it to you. And then she just kindly asks, like, can I just be alone right now? And Cisco's like, yeah. And heads on out. And whew.
That's it. That's all I see. But there's other stuff going on like in my life right now that may be susceptible to this. But boy, I really was choking and breaking down
Yes.
during the scene. Just like and this is again what we were talking about with how Keiko, you can see that she was prepared for it. She was taking
Yes.
it in. She takes in the fact she basically finishes his thoughts. All he says is Keiko, and she's like, something happened. He says there was an accident. She goes, they're dead.
Yeah.
Like you can
She
see it
knows.
just like sinking in.
Oof.
But she stays, much like Cisco, stays focused. I want to see what happened. I do want to see it.
Yeah.
She knows she has to face it. It's just really heartbreaking.
Yeah, it is. Nowadays, maybe it's always been like this, but I just feel like people think good acting is doing the most acting,
The most crying,
the most everything,
the
and
most shouting.
there's no crying here, no shouting, and there's definitely scenes that warrant that. I'm not shitting on that,
Oh, sure.
but I don't think people understand how powerful just quietness and actually like just this air of heaviness and sadness can convey. And I just thought it was a well done
Oh,
scene. And
yeah.
it's so
She did
small.
like
Small's
so
just a small
small. She did an
scene.
amazing job. The way I see it is like you could see that kind of emotion. You could see it on the horizon in the periphery.
Yes.
You could see the control that it took to keep it at bay. And that's such a subtle piece of acting to
Yeah.
do.
To wait for him to leave. To
Yeah.
have your meltdown, pretty much.
Yeah.
Ugh. How we go back to Talania.
No, we have Dax and Kira. No,
Oh,
I skipped a scene.
oh, yeah.
Yes,
We have a
go-
because
we
we
go
have a
back to
we have a
Talania.
lip just
I
a
scrolled down too fast.
we have just a quick scene in Talania where Miles's eyes are now starting to go. So Bashir has to take over to fix the comm systems, which is Miles's nightmare.
Yep.
Now we go to Quarks.
Yep.
Where Dax and Kira are talking, and pretty much we've come in mid-conversation on them talking about Bashir. And this is also another good scene. It's just like very quiet scene.
Yeah, quiet. There's like no music, just two people talking.
And I don't know why this really got to me when so I guess Bashir gave Dax his medical diaries.
Right.
So
His diaries from when he was at medical school.
So she can get to know him better. At
Right.
first, Kira goes, "What? So you can know the ladies he was going in and after?" And I'm like, I like that too because,
That's our reaction. That's our first guess. Oh, it's going to be this like.
but when people die, yes, it's overwhelming sad, but you still have those moments where you have to make a joke sometimes
Right.
to relieve some of that sadness.
Yeah.
And that to me was what Kira was doing, like, so you can read about the ladies who was going after. But it wasn't saying like mean. It was just kind of like,
Right.
just a little joke. And even Dax smiled at it. She goes, "No, actually, that wasn't, wasn't that." She's like, apparently it was about his insecurities, how a tough time he had, getting through medical school, like all these different things.
Fear of failure. Like
why
like
he's doing this.
actual like deep,
Yeah.
very extremely
Extremely
personal
personal.
thoughts. Man, he was really desperate to get with Dax at that time. But
And
so that's the first whammy of
Mhm.
this scene.
And
And then Kira asks, Did they help you understand him better?
she goes, "I didn't read them." And I don't
Oof.
know why that got to me. It's like the you always think you're going to have the time.
Yes, you think you'll
You
have the time.
always think you're going to have the time. And that moment of like, sometimes you don't have all the time. Ooh, that got to me. I'm crying. They're not crying. I'm crying.
And what's great is these scenes are so effective. We know he's not dead.
But that's why, because sometimes people are like, oh, like it's a filler episode, doesn't matter. I'm like, it matters if you can get the character somewhere or get certain reactions. And I think along with, Miles and Bashir building up their relationship with each other, we get to see some of our characters and how they react to a friend and coworker passing away.
Yeah.
And I think that's also meaningful too. Like,
It's a what if scenario that normally you obviously cannot play out because you
Mhm.
can't kill off your regulars with that
Exactly.
frequency. So this gets you that insight for free, basically, and allows you to understand those relationships and also propels them forward because they face those emotions too and can grow from them.
Especially Dax's Trill. Like, to her, there probably is tons of time because she's lived for 200
Yeah.
years. And her host is young. So there probably is this, like, oh, w- live
There's so
forever?
much time ahead.
Yeah, there's so much time. And there's not.
And I think the other interesting lesson from this episode, from a storytelling perspective, is they could have, and many things do, they could have made it try and get a cheap reaction out of the audience by making us also think he was dead. And then,
Yes.
psych, they're not. You know what I mean? Like a lot of times in, say, superhero movies or other sci-fi where, death is
Mhm.
never quite permanent,
Yeah,
but
exactly.
you still are constantly killing them off so you can get these, like, reactions
Sad reactions.
and then
Yeah.
bringing them back. Those usually feel cheap because they try and convince the audience that they're really dead, which is an insult to their intelligence because we know they're not dead.
Especially after the first couple of times.
Especially after the
Yeah.
first couple times, like,
I
I
don't
know
feel
they're not dead.
anything now.
Why are you even trying?
I know why.
So then you disengage from what should be
Yeah.
a good emotional moment because you feel like you're being manipulated.
Mhm.
Here, it's very upfront. We know that O'Brien's alive, so it's not trying to trick us into reaction. But we can, with that situational irony, we can see that, oh no,
Yes.
but they think he's dead. Oh, and they're going through all this
'Cause
tough emotions, and
they're
you feel for them.
'Cause they're really grieving.
Yeah, the grieving from their perspective is genuine, and that's what matters.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. But of course, can't be sad for too long because Core comes in. But
Bring in some levity while still keeping it heartfelt, which is
yeah,
a great
it
strength
was
of
sweet
Quark.
because he's giving them drinks on the house, and at first you're like,
And
wait,
well,
what?
Kara immediately says, "Why?"
And he's like, hey, I have a heart. And this is for the memory of Bashir and Miles. And he gives them a toast, and he gives them the highest compliment he can as a Ferengi. They were great customers.
They always paid their bill on time, and you can tell, like, Dax, who's much more like Ferengi,
Yes, she understands.
accepting. She understands. She
goes-
sees that it's
She goes,
heartfelt,
oh, Quark.
and Kira's like, "That's it." And then Quark, with a great delivery, is like, "I'm not done yet."
And he goes on about how they were amazing customers. That was, again, you see a Ferengi, like the way he
Showing in
So,
his own
in
way.
his own way.
And it's good because the scene ends on his sincere moment.
Yes.
It doesn't then try and wink,
Yeah.
wink, nod to the audience and have Kira ruin it with further doubts. Like, she's played her part, he's played his part, and we just end it there. It's very sincere.
Yeah, the moment from Dax Crab. Yeah. Oh, Quark. Go to Ops, where Keiko comes running off the elevator and meets with Kira, and Kira's trying to tell her, like, hey, sorry about your husband. She's like,
That's nice. I need to talk to Cisco.
I need to talk to Cisco now. In Cisco's office, Keiko and Cisco are reviewing the security footage that we already saw, and she points out, do you see that? Do you see that? Cisco, like, he's drinking coffee. She goes, what time is it? He's like, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. She goes, my husband does not drink coffee that late in the afternoon. He'll be up all night. And he's like, well, it has been a long week. Maybe he's drinking coffee that late. She's like, no, no, no. My miles
I
would never.
know my
I
husband.
know my husband. And then someone else maybe cares, like, what about if it's tea? She's like, no, I ran a scan. There's caffeine in
Covered
that
it.
cup. It is coffee. And it wasn't just from this. Like, they were already, like, wanting, like I said, wanting to
Right.
talk to him. This just, like, kind of pushed it forward. They're like, you know what? Maybe we should ask some questions about
In a more
what's going on.
timely manner.
Yes. So the crew gets all set to go visit Talania.
Dun dun dun. And I like also that they believe her. It's
Yeah.
not like, oh, you're imagining it. Like, okay, we'll take this seriously. If it's been altered, we will find out why.
Yes.
So that's always nice to see.
Yes. Yeah, I'm glad it wasn't just like dismissed right away.
Right.
But they did ask her questions, but
Oh,
they
yeah.
after that questions they asked, they're
Their
like,
due
okay,
process.
okay. Maybe we should go ask some questions sooner rather than later. Ooh, back on Talania. Miles is not looking so good. And my notes I just wrote, Bashir's a feet man. Because he talks
Yes.
about the ballerina he fell in
Yeah,
love
so
with.
this is the person he was. Yeah, so he said I was in love once before, and so now O'Brien is prompting him. So who was she? Who was the
Yeah.
person you were in love with?
And he was in Petty, and he fell in love with a ballerina.
She had the most exquisite feet.
Okay, Bashir.
She's a feet guy. Maybe the Talani had nice feet. That's what he was looking at. That's why he thought they were so.
That's why we
They
didn't
had
see
good
it.
feet.
Yeah, okay.
That's why we didn't see it.
So while he's talking to Miles about all this, the comm system we see has some juice in it. It just is not connecting. So he's working on that while he's talking about the ballerina because he almost gave up his Starfleet career for her because I guess her father was rich man
Hospital administrator.
and wanted to give him a contract to work at the hospital and like he guaranteed in 5 years he would have been like
Chief
chief
surgeon,
surgery in Petty. But he would have to give up on Starfleet career for
Starfeet career. A little Freudian slip there.
his Starfleet career.
Yeah. I think this is also where we talked about this idea that Bashir, being young, he's selfish. I think while on the face of it, his argument against like, oh yeah, I just don't want a relationship because it's not fair to them. I don't think that was entirely honest. Maybe he believed it, but I don't think he was being honest with himself. He wanted the career, and that ultimately was more important to him, and so that's what he chose. And I think he's tried to sort of dismiss it as he hasn't faced that fact. He said, oh, it was for altruistic reasons. It wouldn't have been fair to her. I was just doing this for her. Which both...
Because, he had to be on the frontier.
Yeah.
On his own.
Which is not good because you're not being honest with yourself. And it is not being respectful of the other person as someone who can make up their own mind. Like, oh, I'm going to make it up for you. It's not fair to you, so I'm going to leave.
Yeah.
Which, again, this inexperience, which tracks with his character, so it makes a lot of sense. But now you get, this is just, peeling back these layers.
Yeah. And kind of just a little sad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of sad, Miles cannot feel his legs now.
That's nice. I'm dying.
So we go to a runabout where Cisco and Dax have arrived on Talania. And are they talking to the lady from the brown team?
Yes.
Yeah. What are you doing here? So back with Miles and Bashir. Woo! The comm system, it's working. Yeah.
Yeah, so they
my
get
notes
the
are a little
comm system.
scattershot here, sorry.
They get the comm system working, so they broadcast a distress signal.
Yes.
I feel like it's a little weird that they're trying this whole time not to be seen, and then they just start broadcasting. I guess they assume if they are seen, it's only going to be by people looking for them, which would be the Talani. And I guess they're just hoping
Talani
that
gets them there before
by
the other group.
broadcasting that maybe the Kellerans will I guess he literally says that maybe the
Yes.
killer wants to see it
It's
first.
like,
It just seems very.
hopefully brown team gets
I feel like you could
here
have in Star Trek. I would expect to be like, I can use this comm system to patch into the runabout and beam us up, but they had to have their little reveals. So
Yeah, exactly.
just seemed a little reckless after all this.
I wrote down Miles is getting grim, and Bashir is like, "Don't give up hope," blah blah blah, and Miles goes, "I'm not giving up. I'm dying." I don't know what, like, Godspeed.
Like Keiko, he is facing the facts.
Miles tells the doctor he's wrong about love. Marriage is the greatest adventure. He goes, no matter what, Keiko and I love each other. And it is, especially from probably Bashir's perspective, it is probably a harder life. Because, yes, he can't just like
Can't just be easy breezy flirting with everybody. That's because that's really what he wants.
Yeah. But Miles and Keiko do have something that Bashir doesn't understand.
It requires a different kind of bravery.
Yes.
Bashir wants an adventure, but it's the easier of the two options. And so, yeah, so Orion gives this great little monologue here. And yeah, no notes. It's great.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's great to hear that from O'Brien, because sometimes you don't get a lot of deep thoughts out of him.
Yeah.
Because he's the very, he's the man of the people kind of.
Man of the people, that's right.
Steak and potatoes, It's nice to know there's something deeper going on ahead. Like he does understand in these what he thinks are his final moments.
Yes.
So that's nice. Good. So good character development for him too.
Yeah.
Because we've been seeing them throughout these first two seasons. Lots of interaction between them, and
and
this
even
just like solidifies that like there is really
next
something
gen.
genuine there.
Like we've been with these two for a bit.
And haven't gotten anything this deep.
Yeah.
Even when their kid was born.
Was it just Worf had to deliver the baby?
Right.
Yeah, it's hard 'cause it's like I don't think people have to get married. You know what I mean?
Oh, right. Yeah, like this definitely is framing it in a very nuclear family kind of perspective, right?
Yeah.
So very 90s. But this can be applied to any kind of partnership, any kind
Yes.
of close relationship.
That love is worth it.
Right.
Whatever that looks to you. Sacrificing to build something with somebody else is worth it.
Yep.
Yeah. We cut to Cisco, who is in that, who's looking at the
lab
science lab
died, yeah.
and talking to the lady ambassador from the brown team. Just asking some questions. Also, is there any reason why the gray team would alter the video? And she's like, what?
Yeah, he's trying to get her thinking about that, thinking, of course, that maybe the other guys are behind it. Because I think they do know that, the Talani ambassador was the first one on the scene. In their conversation,
that's right.
they covered that. So that's also why,
that's right,
obviously, they don't know what O'Brien and Bashir know.
Because he was there. They're like, how did you?
Yes.
He's like, skin of my teeth. Like, I had just missed,
barely
made it. So that's why I was
Also
there.
flag,
Yeah. Okay.
So they are also, for different reasons, get on a similar track to O'Brien and Bashir that, it must be the Talani.
Yeah. Is there anything else that happens in the scene, or
No,
just
then Dax calls him over to the runabout.
boo, boo, boo. And they found some evidence that things might not be what they seem, and that Bashir Miles might still be alive. I don't really understand the evidence.
So someone has tampered with the computer.
Okay.
So basically, think of these ships as constantly scanning. So they have data they're recording data all the time.
Yes.
And so someone went on there and deleted a section of data from after the security device was activated.
Okay.
That's it. Is just a missing chunk of data from after the accident. Like, well, why would you delete something from after the accident? Well, if Bashir and O'Brien tried to issue a command to beam them over and it couldn't because it was jammed, it would have logged it.
Okay.
Therefore, they must be live. I think if it was like before or during, they would have think like, okay, they're covering up the reason for their death, but it being after the alleged time of death is the key thing. Like, they would only have deleted something.
Pretty much something shady going on.
It's a little bit of a leap, but it does make enough sense that you accept it and move on. And then we don't have to spend like in some of these older episodes, literally half the episode going through technical babble about something, something, something. It's just real quick to the point. There's missing data. They deleted it. Bad. Bashir O'Brien alive? Maybe? Moving on.
Maybe.
Great. No
Cool.
notes.
Go to our hideout where Miles asks the doctor, do you ever talk to her? And the doctor says, no, I've never talked to the ballerina since he left.
Brian's like, maybe you should. Because maybe she's in a different spot in her life now. You both are. Like,
Yeah,
never know.
never know. They hear, well, Bashir hears some noises.
Dun, dun, dun.
Hiding a little bit. And then the lady ambassador comes in their hideout. And he's like, oh, they got you and not the other team. And he's trying to tell them, they're behind this. They came in and tried, like, he's trying to explain to her.
They killed all the scientists.
She's like, okay. And then the great team comes in right behind her. The bastard does. He's like, him, kill her. She's like, yeah.
Nah, dog.
It was both of us. So pretty much, they wanted, so part of the peace deal, and to make sure that this peace deal stays intact, is that nobody can make these harvesters again. So they want to make sure anybody with any knowledge on how to make the harvesters are dead. That's why they got rid of all the scientists in the room, both sides, and they tried to kill Bashir and Miles.
And on it together.
And they're like, we're not going to build a bioweapons. They're like, we don't know what you do in your free time.
Fair. But also, hey.
hey. So
Not
pretty
cool.
much they just want to kill anybody with knowledge. Because they feel like this is the only way that this peace can remain, is that there's no way this bioweapon can come about. I'm like, sure there's not any, is this really why the Civil War started? Okay. So at this point, Miles has been like on the floor dying, and before they could shoot him, Miles like, wait 1 second.
I'm gonna die on my feet.
Let me speak. And she's like, okay, what? She's like, well, Bashir, get me up. I want to die on my feet. So they're there, clutched together, waiting for the bullet, and then they're beamed to the runabout.
Dun, dun, dun.
With Cisco and Dex. So again, they're blocking the distress signals, so they can't get to anybody about what's going on. The Talani, they send a warning shot, and then Cisco and the ambassadors do kind of a back and forth on the screens, like, you can get away. And Cisco's like, are you gonna, like, if you kill us, wouldn't that be war with the Federation?
We have no quarrel with you. We just want you dead. It's just the way it has to be.
See, he's like, so I don't know any knowledge of how to make these bioweapons or decks, so you'd be killing 2 innocent people if you blow up our ship. The Great Ambassador is like, I can live with that. Okay. So they make a run for it, but then they swing back around and they're trying to like
ram them, basically.
Ram them into the ship. So they blow up the runabout.
And then remember, there were 2 runabouts. When they came in the one O'Brien and Bashir had. And so they're like, all right,
they're dead.
let's tow in that other runabout. They're like, it's gone. Oh, tricky.
Tricky. So they probably beamed over like right before.
Yep.
And then remote the ram and stuff like that. So, and by the time they figure it out, they're gone. They've already warped away. So they got away, and that's that, I guess. That's the only weird part about this episode. I
Is
feel
that they're
like
just like, oh, well.
There's no...
They were so committed to this knowledge not getting out, and they're just like,
Also,
I guess there's nothing we can do now.
The fact that there's no repercussions for them, like...
I mean, they were not friends after that. That's for sure. They were not invited to the Federation's birthday party. Sorry, we don't need to see their stupid hair again. It was kind of, I guess they were trying to do a little, like from how this started, because one of the ambassadors like, because they're basically guessing that, well, maybe they beamed over to the other runabout, and then one guy's like, but we saw them die. She's
Just, did we? Yeah.
Which is like how they, like, we saw Bashir and O'Brien die, did we? I don't know. It was soon.
Yeah.
was trying to do some sort of
They're trying to
callback,
do
but
something. Yeah.
it was just kind of, no, I think you clearly didn't, considering that the roundabout's gone. Anyway,
DS9, we're in the infirmary where Miles has recovered nicely from the harvester, so I guess they do remember the how to get rid of it.
because it's not that great a bioweapon. We need to destroy this bioweapon because it sucks. You need to make a better one.
That's the actual plan. Keiko is there. She has like a little coffee mug that looks like Keiko painted for her.
Molly painted it.
That's what I meant, Molly.
Okay.
Yeah. No, Keiko.
Do you paint this yourself, honey? Oh, great.
No,
So
Molly, their kid, painted for her.
Mhm.
You know, she's next, just very happy. You could tell they're really enjoying being together. And then who comes in but Bashir to check in on Miles. And then he's like, we're bonded. Bros for life. Because, you know, we saved each other. We went through this together. That we're, you know, there's the type of bond we have.
Band of brothers.
Exactly. And Miles is like, uh-huh.
All right. I want to be with my wife now.
And Fisher's like, oh, okay, I'll see you later, buddy. Bye. And Keiko's like, aw. She's like, how was it? Really? He's like, and Miles like, it was hell. He wouldn't stop talking. And she's like, but he saved your life. And he's like, yeah, and he won't let me forget about it. Hey, he's like, you know what? I have this new nice mug. It's like, can I get some coffee? Keiko's like, what do you mean, silly? It's in the afternoon. You don't drink coffee at this time. Miles goes,
Yeah,
of course I do. Keiko, you do?
And it just ends right there.
Best button
Best.
ever. Just to her
And her reaction, you do?
You do?
Realizing that, you know, that's marriage. Sometimes you think you know someone.
That is marriage, yes.
don't.
Wait, what? Because it is weird because it's like you're with this person all the time.
Mhm.
And
I mean, which happens, you
you
build
think
these assumptions,
Yes.
and then you
So-
realize that they're wrong.
sometimes you change your patterns of how you do things and you just don't think about like, hey, honey, I'm drinking coffee now. It's not something you announce. It's just
Right.
something that probably happens.
He's probably at work most of the time. so that's the thing, she doesn't always see him.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And,
Great.
you know, a week on that planet, he probably really got into coffee.
Yep.
He did say their coffee sucks and he wants to go back to DS.
That's the real reason.
So, yeah, great button.
And really shows like how well put together and shot the episode was to convey these storytelling moments, like how you just little things like how we start out in the middle, so we don't have to do all this setup with the war with them.
Yes.
You don't have to do it of them finding the planet and then introduce it. It's like they've
Yeah,
already gotten that way.
You get quickly what is going on with these people while we're going through. Yeah. I like that.
And a really small example of that, Dax and Kira's conversation, we jump right into the middle of it.
Yeah.
So we don't have to waste time. We can cut straight to the what matters because we only got a little bit of time, and then the button just like the
Yes.
hard cut after you do.
That's how you do a hard
Boom.
cut. Yes.
Very satisfying ending. So yeah, great episode.
Yeah, with emotional moments that I forgot about. I didn't realize was going to get to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, overall, well done. That's flaws here and there, but I think, especially for a middle episode
I
in
know.
season 2, pretty solid.
Yeah, this is still season 2.
Pretty solid.
All right.
What we got next week?
Next week, we get to torture O'Brien again
Oh.
with whispers.
Trying to. It's like, is this the O'Brien episode? I think it is, you know? Because, like, are we.
Paranoia. I think that's whispers.
Because is it O'Brien also in the episode where he, like, experiences a jail time of, like,
That is also an
Decades?
O'Brien one, yes.
decades?
One of the many
in the
torture O'Brien
minutes,
episodes.
Where I'm just like, this is fucked.
That's like a Black
up.
Mirror
Yes.
episode.
I actually can't wait to get to that episode because that's a disturbing episode.
Yep.
Okay. Okay.
Lots of implications that are
Oh,
resolved.
yes. Yeah, no, that's going to be a
Yeah, scarred
deep
for
dive
life.
of an episode. Okay, so this is more like
Whispers, yeah, the
paranoia and stuff.
one.
Okay.
All right.
Man, Poor
I
Miles.
know,
He
right?
really is a
Back to back is just
give my brother a
give him a
couple
break.
episodes to be at peace and be with his
Oh my
family.
god, there's another one at the end of the season.
Oh my gosh.
I'm pretty sure that's
Miles.
what that is. I think I
Miles.
recognize the title. He's just getting beat up. All right.
Okay.
See you then.
All right. See you then. Bye.
Bye.